Good afternoon, Rotarians and guests. Welcome to our last January meeting. This month has really flown by for me. I'm going to start off with a quick thank you to past President Denver Peacock for filling in for me with my illness last week. I was grateful to have him here, but I definitely missed everybody. So we are going to start off this week with the four-way test, prayer, and pledge led by Elizabeth Small, then guest introductions with Chad Cummings. A quick reminder to everybody, please silence your cell phones during the meeting. With that, we'll invite Elizabeth to the front.
Well, if you would please join me in the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? So I told President Jason today that I looked up the history of the four-way test. And rather than give you a history lesson, I'm going to challenge you or encourage you to look up the history of the four-way test, and it's pretty interesting. And then email what you find to him. All right, that would be great. So please pray with me, please. God, we thank you for this day's blessings. We appreciate the food provided as Rotarians, we will serve those who are hungry. We value this fellowship, and as Rotarians, we will help those who feel lonely and carry burdens alone. We are grateful for our health, and as Rotarians, we ask your blessings on those who are battling illness. As Rotarians, we cherish opportunities to serve our community. Bless all these things and our time together. Amen. Join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to welcome a number of guests. There were so many that there was a debate of whether we actually had you all stand up, but the powers that be said, yes, we're going to make you all stand up individually. When I call your name, please stand. Matt Cleveland is a guest of Jim McGill. Sarah Magata is a guest of Elizabeth Small, as is Atman Vareha. I apologize if I mispronounced your name. David Valovich with Holt McConnell. Christian Fauble with Elizabeth Small. Let's see. Isabel Hortalena, also with Elizabeth Small. Mike Rain with Dan Parker. Jennifer Dawes with Ross Burnett, as is Patrick Laughlin. Richard O'Brien with Charlie Porter. Sarah Bennings with Cindy Pruitt. Mandy White, Chris Bergman, Kyle Spurgeon, and Logan McCoy are all with the Little Rock Chamber. And I see some Catholic High young men who are not standing and who somehow try to get out of standing. So please join us and welcome our guests.
All right, thank you, Elizabeth and Chad, as well as today's greeters, Mary Lackey, Stacy Hurst, Jim McGill, and Sam Smith. Thank you all for the smiling faces up front. In addition to the guests we already mentioned, as Chad just pointed out, we do have some special guests that are visiting from Club 99 sponsored Interact Club at Catholic High School. We'll invite them and Catholic High alum and Club 99 board member John Monroe to the podium to share a few words. John.
Well, good morning, or good afternoon, I guess. I'm happy to introduce the officers of the Catholic High Interact Club, known as REACH. Reaching Everyone at Catholic High is what it stands for. And these young men were also Rotary Youth Leadership Award winners and attended the leadership retreat last spring. So we're happy to have them here. Nicholas Varela is the president of the REACH Club. Aiden Bordador, and Gresham Messersmith. So they're all seniors at Catholic, and so they've been involved during the course of the school year. You know, the Interact clubs are basically the high school equivalents of Rotary, and so they're community service clubs, and this is the only one that we sponsor, and we've been a sponsor of the Catholic High Club for many, many years, and I've been involved with it for probably the last 7 or 8, and they've done a lot of good things over the course of the school year, so I'm going to let Nicholas say a few words about some of the projects that they've been involved in the fall.
Hello, everyone. Like he was saying, we've helped a lot in the Little Rock community. We've done different marathons like the Thanksgiving Day Turkey Trot and the Three Bridges Marathon, you know, cleaning up and setting up. We've also helped at Christmas events like recipe kit building and New Year's Eve setup events. We've helped at Camp Aldersgate, which some of you may be familiar with. It's like a camp that helps disabled children. We've also helped with CALS, the Central Arkansas Library System, helped with used book sales and different members of that. And we actually have an event soon in Benton for a pro-life event with a guest speaker, I don't remember his name, from Babylon B. So yeah, we help a lot throughout Little Rock, and thank you.
Thank you. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Next up, we have a few committee announcements. We're going to start with Dunbar Mentor Chair Beth Hathaway. Please help me welcome Beth to the front.
Good afternoon. I knew this day would come. I've dodged it as long as I possibly could to get up in front of you. I am Beth Hathaway Barnes. What are we doing over here? Thank you. I am a mentor, proudly a mentor at Dunbar Elementary School, and I have been, this will be my 3rd year. And I would like to invite each of you to have the opportunity to serve in that capacity as well. It's a great opportunity to help some underserved youth. It's a very short-term commitment. It's only from mid-February through the end of school, mid-May. So, and it's just once a week, guys. So I know, and there's a lot of flexibility with the time you meet with them. This is a true mentorship. Don't feel like you have to be up on your algebra. This is a mentorship to help these kids who may not have a normal home life and need some guidance. It is a true service to these children. So I will be sending out an email. You can send Dan an email, you can send me an email. There'll be something in the bulletin. We'll probably have a Zoom meeting, but we're gonna have 10 boys and 10 girls. And so we need 10 male mentors and 10 female mentors. So please, 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 like I say, it's a very short-term, very warm, necessary service opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Beth. Yes, it is less than an hour a week commitment, and it means so much to the students that we get to serve. So hopefully everybody will be able to find a little bit of time to fit that in. A quick reminder, this Friday morning is the first Women of Rotary meeting via Zoom, hosted by Chair Kim Kirkman. I hope you all enjoy a cup of caffeine and a stimulating conversation on speaking well this Friday. And finally, a quick reminder, our Board of Directors meeting will take place today immediately after the meeting downstairs. Look forward to sharing our progress through the first half of this Rotary year. Next up, we get to continue our monthly member highlight video on Club 99ers around the world. Let's see who's up for January.
I'm Hank Kelly. A partner with Kelly Commercial Partners. We're in the commercial real estate business. Been in Rotary a little over 35 years. I started Rotary with the West Little Rock Club and then had an opportunity after serving as president of that club to transition to the Club 99. I met Ashwin, Dr. V, as a student back in 1983 when I was going through the MBA program at UA Little Rock while working and having children. So I met him as a professor and enjoyed his class. He was hard, but he taught us a lot and enjoyed interacting with him, and that was the start of getting to know Ashwin, Dr. V, in a very friendly way. The opportunity to travel with Ashwin started after I had graduated from the MBA program, and I was on the Business Advisory Council for UA Little Rock, and Ashwin asked me if I would consider going with an undergraduate class to go to Mexico and be a semi-chaperone. So I took that opportunity and really enjoyed being able to go as part of the UA Little Rock delegation. Then he invited me to go with him to China with the EMBA program. So we had traveled together internationally. In fact, he is my ticket to international travel, to be honest with you. It culminated in Ashwin inviting Stephanie and me and my youngest daughter, Grace, to go to India for the first week as a tourist, and Ashwin made the arrangements with an agency to give us a tour of what we would refer to as the Golden Triangle. And then the second week, we got to go to a wedding that his nephew was involved with and meet his family and see his home in Ahmedabad, India, which is in the Gujarati region of India, which is southern India. I have introduced him to the lake at Griz Ferry, and Ashwin will tell you he's not an avid swimmer, so we're always very careful. But one of the things we've grown to enjoy doing through our Ottenheimer committee is co-hosting whomever the students are that come to the United States for a weekend at our river cabins and on the lake. And we've got great stories about the ladies from France that came and jumped in the lake, and Diane jumped in the lake with them, and we all jumped in the lake after that. So there's just been a lot of good times that we've had watching the sunset on Griz Ferry Lake and maybe having a drink or two while we were doing it.
Thank you so much, Hank, for sharing, and Ashwin, that is such a great story. I can't wait to travel with some of the people in here with my immediate past president pin on my shoulder. To continue our Rotary Year theme of global hearts, local hands, I've decided to use my President's Minute to highlight a Rotary club around the globe. There are more than 46,000 clubs worldwide. We'll take a minute to learn about one other club a week from their history, membership, or special projects that they support. This week, in line with today's program, I decided to look for any aviation-themed service projects that exist around the world. There are many transportation-related service projects and even a handful of Rotary clubs that meet exclusively at airports, like the JFK International Club. But I chose to focus on a smaller service project as a reminder. It doesn't have to be the biggest or the oldest to still have a meaningful impact. The Rotary Club of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, is a large club. They have over 100 members, and an older club. They were founded in 1922. But amongst their more than 20 annual service projects they support is one that I found uniquely interesting. They sponsor a program called Challenge Air, where 19 pilots and over 150 annual volunteers provide transformative flight experiences for around 100 children with special needs. It's a fun day with a DJ, arts and crafts, and a special red carpet where children get to go for a ride in the cockpit of a private plane. From physically limited children to autism diagnoses, the program has recognized nonverbal children for saying their first words, fly, in the co-pilot seat. And they say the program is not only a way to give a thrill to the children that get to participate, but also a way to build confidence by turning an unknown and scary to exhilarating and fun. Challenge Air has developed into its own 501c3 program in Dallas, Tulsa, and Chattanooga, and they've been putting this on since 1993. It's amazing to see when you look at the pictures on their website, the smile the kids get to share with this special treat with. So, with that, I will follow past President Denver's gentle suggestion from last week, and we will toast the Rotary Club of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and the Challenge Air Program. With that, we will get into today's program. To introduce today's speaker, please help me welcome Summer DeProw to the podium.
Hey, good midday, Rotarians. I have the distinct honor and privilege of announcing or introducing Mark Bremer, our speaker today. I'll start with his roots quickly and then get into what he's doing today and then end with a few little personal quips and stories about our working together. But he's originally from Andalusia, Illinois, close to Moline. Some of you with an agriculture background know that's the home of John Deere. But he moved here in 1986 because I'm sure he chose a better way of life and wanted to become an Arkansan, right? He's a U.S. Air Force veteran, a devoted husband, father, grandfather, and over the last 40 years, he's become an executive level leader in the aerospace industry with many different areas of expertise. We are fortunate to have Mark today because he's going to share with us a variety of things about Dassault, but there are some interesting fun facts that I've learned over the last 6 months. The jets arrive green, literally, from France. And then here in Little Rock, our friends and neighbors in our community are steadily customizing these jets into the beautiful customized pieces that they are today. 2,600 Falcons have been delivered to over 90 countries right out of our Little Rock facility here. And it's currently expanding. I'm sure many of you have read about that to make room for the 6X, 8X, and 10X to all be customized and delivered. $100 million is being invested and hundreds of additional people will be employed there. I joke that Dassault is cleaner than my office. And it is, if you have the chance to go and tour it. Additionally, and on more personal and community involvement notes, Mark is very involved in the Arkansas Aerospace Defense Alliance. He served as president for 4 years. We're very fortunate. He helps Lockheed, Arcturus, Pulaski Tech, and a variety of other schools all come together to support the industry here in Little Rock. He's the honorary commander of the 314th Aircraft Maintenance Squadron. He's also a cancer survivor. He rode his motorcycle all the way to the Arctic Ocean and jumped in after being cured, I assume, of cancer, if one can say that. But this story about the motorcycle brings up the last 6 months of our work together. We've developed a great relationship between UAPTC and Dassault. We already had one, but it's even better now. And as we were developing a grant for Governor Stander's recent hired grants, I said, I really want my people to see the best of the best in aerospace education. So Mark graciously said, let's go to Wichita State University. So we did. And we saw the best research, manufacturing, training, you name it. And then to make matters even more interesting, he shows up on his motorcycle in Wichita, hops off, and as we were planning this, he says, I want everybody to go to dinner because SAU Tech is with us because they support Lockheed Martin. Saline County Career Center is with us because we're having a relationship there with training and what are they doing versus what is Pulaski Tech is doing. It's a great trip. But in this email where we're planning it all, he says, I want to go to the chicken place. And I said, I'm thinking to myself, they deliver jets to the Sultan of Brunei and Taylor Swift. Okay. So it's got to be a free-range chicken, gourmet chicken place, right? No, it isn't. But it was the most delicious fried chicken ever, And at least 3 times during dinner, Mark asked me, have I had the cream gravy? And of course, I had had my body weight at that point during this of cream gravy. But I tell you this funny story to also express to you what a kind, giving, down-to-earth individual he is. And we're very grateful to have him as a partner at Pulaski Tech. I can't wait to hear more about the 50th anniversary and more things that are going on at DeSoto. So please welcome Mark Brimmer.
Good afternoon, everybody. So how was the chicken? Summer, thank you for the kind words. Chris, Jason, thank you for having me today. We get to talk about something that's dear to my heart, and that's about DeSoto Falcon Jet. You know, as Summer said, I came here many years ago to Arkansas. I didn't want to come to Arkansas. I got orders to come here and found out it was the best thing that could ever happen to me. And I've spent the last 40 years, since '86, quite almost 40 years, in the aerospace community here in Arkansas. Starting out Air Force, going to Arkansas Modification, to British Aerospace, Arkansas Aerospace, Raytheon, and then spent the last 29 years at Falcon. So my goal today is to tell you a little bit about who DeSoto is, not just DeSoto Falcon Jet, but who DeSoto is. And so my goal is to give you a company overview, tell you about our Falcon aircraft and our military aircraft, tell you the history of who we are as a company, as well as who we are in Little Rock, what we do here, and a little bit on my second hat as President of Aerospace and Defense Alliance to tell you about some of the initiatives we have working with Summer and a lot of the schools here in Arkansas. So, we're a leading aerospace company. We deliver 2,600 aircraft around 90 countries and across 5 continents. We have over 11,000 employees within DeSoto Group, and we assemble and manufacture both civil and military aircraft, the Rafale, the Neuron, and the Falcon. So when we look at DeSoto Group is major shareholders is still the DeSoto family, okay? They own majority group of it, and within the DeSoto Group, we have DeSoto Systems. So DeSoto Systems is a software solutions company. It is probably larger than our aerospace side. And DeSoto Systems solutions are used by many of the manufacturers around the world, aerospace and many other types. Group Figaro, that is a media and group that does that. DeSoto Aviation is where DeSoto Falcon Jet falls under. We have Imole is basically a real estate group that has high-end real estate. Art Curial is a art group that does a lot of auctioning and things like that of artwork. And then we have DeSoto Wine, we have a vineyard. So under DeSoto Aviation, where DeSoto Falcon Jet falls, we have Solgitech, which is a aviation company. Thales, it's an aviation company, which we own 26% of. And then we have DeSoto Falcon Services that services our aircraft on the eastern hemisphere. DeSoto Falcon Jet, which we're part of, but that's also DeSoto part of our services on the western hemisphere, as well as our completion, our sales, and that type of activity. And then we have an MRO service where we do our repair, and then we have business services. Okay, so under DeSoto Falcon Jet, our headquarters are in Teterboro, New Jersey. That's where we have our sales and our contracts and support up there as well. And then we have DeSoto Falcon Services. I didn't re-say that. DeSoto Falcon Jet Service Centers. We've renamed that recently, so I'm still trying to acclimate to that. And we have facilities in Reno, Little Rock, Van Nuys, California, Brazil, and many others, which I'll show you here in a little bit. And then we have the Little Rock Completion Center here. Okay, so this shows the pure manufacturing side of who we are. So if you look at that, you can see that we have a lot of facilities around France. And we have what we call the green aircraft that Summer talked about. Basically, when the aircraft arrives here, It arrives green because of the coatings outside the aircraft and an empty shell in the interior, okay? And it has its engines, it flies here, it has its wings, it's all a complete flyable aircraft, but it doesn't have its personality yet. And that's really what we do here in Little Rock, is give the aircraft its personality. Okay, so this map here shows the globe, right? And if you look at all the dark blue indications on the map, that is places that we actually own. So you can see Reno, you can see Van Nuys, you can see St. Louis, you can see Little Rock. So those are all places that we own. And then all the ones in pink are authorized service centers. So those are places that our customers can take their aircraft and have service work done on their airplanes. Okay, kind of like going to Everett's or Guatney's or something like that and getting your car service. You can bring the aircraft. So we have a global footprint. Okay, so who are we? So as a corporation, we're a center of excellence for Dassault Aviation Group, meaning that we customize and deliver all the Falcon aircraft out of this facility, with exception of maybe one or two a year that are special mission aircraft that we may not do here. We share past and present employees. We share our passion, our commitment to perfection, promoting all of our values, our customer spirit, satisfying our customers, their human qualities, our technology excellence, and using our technology and innovation in everything that we do, our economic performance, and our openness to the world. Our vision is having our people at the heart of our activities. We can have the most amazing buildings, and we do. We have an amazing facility full of high technology, but when it gets down to it, it's their people that really make our company. They make the aircraft, they build the quality in it, they build it on time, they do it at cost. They are the heart of who we are. Okay, developing the most advanced digital end-to-end specification and in our process, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Promoting innovation and always raising our quality to our customers' expectations. And every year that gets higher and higher. Our competition is good. We have very good competition, and we've got to stay ahead of them every day. So our aircraft. So as I said, we have a long history of making military aircraft. Now, we don't do any of that in the US, but the Rafale is our current aircraft. Before that, it was the Mirage. And those aircraft are made in the same factories in parallel with our Falcons. Okay? The technology that comes out of our Rafale makes our aircraft unique in the fact that the military technology was first in our aircraft. For example, heads-up display. Maybe some of your cars, you have that today where you can see your speedometer and stuff inside your windshield. We've had that technology for several years in our Falcons. Fly-by-wire, so we don't have cables and rods and things controlling our flight controls. Everything is digital, everything is fly-by-wire, and that directly comes out of the Rafale. We have the Neuron, which is unmanned vehicle. Really can't speak much about that. Most of that is under confidential. So our Falcon, we have several Falcons we make. So today we have the Falcon 8X, which is a variant of the 7X. We're about 300 of those at this point. The 6X is our brand new aircraft. We delivered our first aircraft out of this facility last year. We delivered some just this month, and that's really our new amazing aircraft that we're currently producing. We have the Falcon 900, which is a tri-jet airplane. The 8X and the 900 are our last tri-jets. The 900 will make our last aircraft this year, so that aircraft will be retired. The Falcon 2000, which is our bread and butter aircraft in North America. A lot of corporations really enjoy the 2000, its simplicity, and its technology and the safeness of it and where they can go. So it's an amazing product. And then we have coming in the future the 10X. The 10X is really a game changer for our industry. It's a big aircraft, so if you want to put it in size, the wingspan is about similar to a 737. Okay, so it's really a big aircraft, very voluminous. And we designed it in a way that we haven't designed our other airplanes. Basically, we had the idea of going into your home, all right? So when you go into your home, you have a kitchen, you have a living room, you have a bedroom, you have lavatory, and it's kind of set up that way in modules. And it's really going to do well once we get it on the market, and that's coming very near. So our facility. Our facility was purchased in 1975. We have today over 1,800 employees, 1.25 million square feet of facility. We announced back a year ago, December 2023, our expansion. I know that made a lot of news, and most of you have heard about that. And the expansion is the sport to 10X, okay? So today we have our paint facilities already developed, or not developed, but designed, and we're getting ready to break ground on that, and that's some news you'll hear in the coming weeks. The planning for the 10X hangar is underway, so we're working on the design of that now. And then last year, we hired quite a few folks in our community to come be part of us and across the nation. Okay, so Falcon is 60 years old. And I want to be clear on what that means, because we're going to talk about our 50th anniversary. All right, Falcon is what we call our aircraft, okay? So Chevrolet has a Corvette. You have Chevrolet, and then you have the Corvette symbol, right? So if you look at the bottom on the screen there, the Falcon, that's our emblem for our Falcon product, okay? So Falcon is what we make here. As I said, we make the Rafale and Neurons, but the Falcon is what we do here. And you can see the history. That's a Falcon 10 on the left, and then you have our new 6X on the right. Now, Falcon Jet is 50 years old, and we'll go into that here in just a little bit. And this is a picture early on of what the facility looked like back in the 60s. And this is our facility, what it looks like today, so a pretty good contrast. And it's grown. So this picture on the left, I don't know the exact time, but it'd be in the 70s. And that facility, what you see right here, is that section right there. So you can see how we massively have grown over the years. Our new paint facility for our new 10X is going to be in here and here. And then our new building for the 10X will be out in this area here. So we're really excited about that. Okay, our origins. So our origins start with Marcel Bloch. So probably wondering, okay, Marcel Bloch, the family, it doesn't say Dassault. And the reason for that, Marcel Bloch developed the propeller back in the early 1900s, the Eclair. And the Eclair propeller was one of the most efficient propellers of the time. And he worked with a lot of furniture companies to make that propeller, and that's how it came. But when World War II happened, Marcel was captured by the Germans, and he was asked to participate to help the Germans. He refused to do so. And he found himself going to a concentration camp and was locked up there till the end of the war. During that time period, when he came out, he decided he was going to change his name. So at that time, he changed his name from Bloch to Dassault. Dassault has a meaning in French of a tank or armored vehicle, and he assumed that name. So that's when it became Dassault. So Marcel Bloch is Marcel Dassault. When he got out of the concentration camp, he was given his personal belongings, and he received his wallet. And when we opened up that wallet, one of the things that he found inside was a four-leaf clover. That became his talisman. So when you look at our logo, I think it's one of the coolest logos out there, not because I'm part of the Dassault, but because it's really unique. The shape of it shows the aerodynamics of an airplane. The open end down here at the bottom shows new ideas flowing into the company, okay? New ideas, new spirits, new ways of doing things. And at the very center, you see Marcel Bloch, Marcel Dassault's talisman. So I think that's just a really cool understanding of part of who we are. So why Arkansas? Well, in the 1960s, financier Jack Stevens was tired of taking his aircraft to Kansas City and getting his airplane repaired. So he started up and built Little Rock Aeromotive so he could have his aircraft serviced. And that's what you see in the picture up there. That was the original picture of Little Rock Aeromotive. He then bought a Falcon 20, and he had that aircraft modified in this facility. So when he did that, the aircraft was flown to Paris to an air show. And according to his son, Warren Stevens, the aircraft was received amazingly, and it turns heads at the Paris Air Show. Okay. Then came Pan Am and Charles Lindbergh. Charles Lindbergh was working with Pan Am. He wanted to start a new division in the corporate sector for the aircraft. And Charles Lindbergh came to France. He saw the Falcon 20, or at that time, the Steer 20, and radioed back to Tripp saying, "I found my bird," or "found our bird." And so that was a famous line for him for our company, and that started the Pan Am's corporate aircraft side. Then came along this crazy guy with Arkansas roots, wanted to start FedEx. So those original aircraft that he started FedEx with were Falcon aircraft. They were Falcon 20s, and those aircraft were modified right here in our facility in hangars 1 and 2. And the birth of the flight for FedEx is part of our Falcon history. So what do we do in Little Rock? As I said a little bit ago, we bring the green aircraft in and we give it its personality. And we do that with a great team. We do it with an amazing team. And a lot of you are going to say, yeah, you have pilots and you have engineers, and we do. We do have that. But there's so many more people in our community that are taking part of what we do. We have manufacturing engineers, we have procurement, we have avionics people, CNC, upholstery people, aircraft painters, interior installers, avionics, mechanics, quality, finance, purchasing, human resource, facilities, safety, IT, all that, and more. And I would say that we're really unique in who we are because there's not many manufacturing facilities you're going to go to that have that many different types of skill sets. Not just in general manufacturing, but even in aerospace. We're very unique in who we are and what we do. And again, it's these people, these craftsmen, these artisans that give our aircraft its personality. Okay, so to give you a little understanding of a green airplane, so this is the inside. So the outside is green, as I said a few minutes ago. The inside is basically a shell. When you walk inside of it, if you've been into a military cargo airplane, it kind of looks like that. You have all your wiring and your air ducts and all that's exposed, okay? It doesn't look very pretty. Pretty awesome technically, but not very pretty or comfortable. And so when the aircraft comes in, we are building, before it ever gets here, we're building cabinetry, we're building bracketry, we're building components that are going in that aircraft. And when it arrives, we start installing them. Okay, and we install bracketry, the wire bundles, and then we start putting in the furniture. Okay, again, Dassault Systems, Dassault Solutions, CATIA is a software that we use. We develop it in 3D. We bring teams together to review it, to make sure what we've designed is going to work and it's manufacturable, and then we build it. So we have a lot of different shops. We basically have 6 different business units, plus all the supporting cast that goes into our facility and to our build. So manufacturing area, we have people in there building metal parts, composite parts, fiberglass parts, carbon fiber parts. They're using CNC machinery, they're welding, they're laying up composites. So there's a huge amount of activity that goes on. And again, this happens way before the aircraft gets here. Some of this is going on at least 6 months prior to it. The designs happen even before that. Cabinet fabrication. This and upholstery is where the artisan work comes in. When you walk into our aircraft, you walk in and you see this beautiful craftsman, the cabinet that looks like it's made of wood and it just looks beautiful, and it is. But if you come to the back side of it and look at it, you're going to see something totally different. You're going to see very high-tech materials, you're going to see wiring, you're going to see pneumatics, you're going to see plumbing, you're going to see things that on the back side that doesn't look anything like the front side. And so we need those skills, those critical technical skills to be able to do that ladder. But the front side is complete artisans. The way that they lay the veneer down, the way they put the veneer onto the furniture, the way that they finish it, it's truly beautiful in what they do. So lots of different skill sets there. Upholstery, we go to great detail to get our leather. Our leather doesn't come from the U.S. Leather comes from Europe, couple different reasons for that. We brand our cattle here. We use barbed wire fences which scar the cattle. And we also only use bulls. I'm sorry, ladies, but the reason we do that is because they don't have babies. When a cow has a baby, it stretches it, and there's marks in the leather because of that, stretch marks, and we can't use that into our leather build, so we use the bulls. And our bulls come from places where they have less insects and they have rock walls where they can't get the scars in their sides. Okay, and then again, when we put this together, we use high-tech 3D data to build things, but when it comes down to the leather and shaping the leather, again, it goes back to the craftsman and the hand of those individuals. System installation, so this is where we go in and we start installing everything. So the one on the left, that's the ferry kit, so we have safety equipment and things like that come in on the airplane. And then we start laying in bracketry, we lay in the bundles, and we start bringing in the rest of the furniture. Aircraft paint, again, we use 3D data, we use lasers, we shoot it on the airplane, and that allows us to see what the airplane's gonna look like before we ever paint it. And allows the customers to come in and see the airplane as well, and if they have any changes they don't like, they're able to go in and correct those and tell us what to do differently. So here, we need craftsmen, we need people who can sand well, we need people who can lay out well, we need people who can spray well, another set of skill sets. Then the interior, everything I just talked about then comes into the aircraft once it's here and we start installing it. So we bring the cabinetry from the cabinet shop, the upholstery from the upholstery shop, all the manufactured parts, plus a whole lot of things that we purchase outside. And a lot of our other companies around here, there's various companies around Little Rock that support us and feed us parts and things as well. Flight eye in operation. So once we're all done, we have it built, we start testing it, we go through, make sure everything is operational, and at that point, we fly the airplane. We fly it off, it flies around the skies here and away from here. We'll do a cold soak on the airplane where we fly at least 5 to 6 hours. Allows the aircraft to get cold, and the aircraft changes shape as it gets cold and as it goes in altitude, and allows us to check all of our fitting of everything and testing everything. So once we do that, we say it's good, we have DESO quality, then we have a big celebration with our customer. And we invite our customers to come in, we present the keys to them, and we bring all of our employees out to celebrate that. And we allow the customer to be able to talk to the employees as well and give their thanks to the work that they've done. So it's a big celebration for us. So what's next? I mentioned the announcement we had, and I talked about the facilities, so we're expanding. We have new aircraft. We have the 6X, this is real, we're delivering them now, and we have the 10X that's coming. We have new interiors that we're designing, fabricating, and installing, but we need people. So I'm going to change my hat a little bit here, go from DESO to Arkansas Aerospace and Defense Alliance. In the state of Arkansas, we have over 200 aerospace and defense companies. Okay? A lot of them are represented on the map, and we have CAC here this afternoon with us. All over the globe, all over the state, we have aerospace and defense. And all these companies are needing the same thing that I was talking about. We need skilled people. And if we don't give the skilled people, we won't be able to do that work in Arkansas, and they'll have to do that somewhere else. So part of our expansion announcement was having state, city government, local government, the chamber, coming together, the airport commission, helping us find solutions for the future for our workforce. And it continues as late as the last couple months. So, as Summer mentioned, she went with me to not only to Wichita, but some of her staff went with me to Spartan Aeronautics in Tulsa, and we looked at what they're doing there. We went to NIAR because they're an incredible facility, something we need to aspire to. And what's really amazing to me about that is how well, as Summer said, Scott Kutkuler at Saline and SAU Tech, how they're working together. And I think with the hires grants, we got $2.5 million from the state to support Pulaski Tech. We got another $2 million to support ASU Three Rivers. and SAU Tech got funding to help the defense group down there. And it's amazing how well they're working together. And that's something I hadn't seen in the past. And that's really important. Also, this is industry-led. So the directives out of these grants was industry has to say what we need. The schools have to supply what we need, and we need KPIs to measure that to make sure we're getting what we need. And so that's a big change from where we were in the past. And we got to focus on not only incumbent employees, but we also need to look at the future. We need to look at the students out there that they're in high school, they're going to need careers going forward. And all of us need to be thinking differently as well. So parents, educators, counselors, neighbors, leaders, we need to be thinking about how awesome the careers are here in our companies in aerospace and defense and others that require skilled trades. Not every kid needs to go to college for a 4-year or more degree. Yes, we need those. Yes, that is important. But some people just are not wired for that, and that's okay. We need to accept that because there's amazing jobs that I just explained that are available out here that aren't just jobs, but they're careers. And there's growth opportunities. There's ways to really support their families well. And we need to be thinking about that. So when we see these kids and adults that could do something differently than going to University of Arkansas to Fayetteville to get these degrees, that there's viable alternatives and opportunities. And let me rephrase that, not alternatives, there's viable solutions, viable paths, okay? So yes, we need the 4 years and more degrees. We need our engineers, we need our pilots, we need our leadership, we need our finance people, we need all those professional skill sets. We also need University of Arkansas, UCA. UCA announced their pilot program that they've been working on for the last year over there yesterday, so that's important. Henderson has a flight school program as well. Arkansas State ULR. Groups like John Harrison, I don't know how many of you know him, but he's an amazing guy. He set up the Caterpillar plant years ago, and it does amazing things in our community and abroad to teach leadership. So we need all that, and we need to be thinking differently. Okay, that's my presentation at this point, but I want to point something else out too, and this is on a personal level. As Summer mentioned, I'm a cancer survivor, and yesterday I was given another green light that I'm still cancer-free. So thank you very much, but I don't say that to get accolades. I say that because some of you out there may be on your cancer journey. Some of you may not know it, but you may be on your cancer journey in the future, or maybe you have a loved one, and I can tell you by my wife's support and my daughter, there's nothing more difficult than being a caregiver for somebody that's going through that. We have amazing health care here. I partner with UMS, but there's other amazing health care providers here as well. If you feel your body, you feel something different, you feel something's not right, go to the doctor. I stand here before you today because I reached out when I was feeling something a bit odd, and I wouldn't be here today if it hadn't done that. So that's my words. That's my words of wisdom to you guys, and please listen to your body. And for those that are going through something, or your family is, always maintain hope. Always find a positive day, and maintain your faith. The faith is what drove me to the Arctic Ocean to jump into it and give thanks to God. So, right. So any questions?
Hey, thank you so much for coming today. And my dad's a cancer survivor, so thank you so much for saying that as well. I had the opportunity to take a tour of your facility with Leadership Greater Little Rock, and Kellen over there helps lead up some of that. And great opportunities to see what you guys are doing. One of the coolest aspects that I saw of the facility, you didn't really mention today, but it's that area where you've got 2 planes set up for kind of a demonstration. Can you talk a little bit more about that and how that affects your process, bringing clients in and maybe showing that off to them?
Okay, so that's our mock-up area. So what he's talking about is we have a mock-up of a 6X and a 10X, and it's in our facility, and customers can come in there, and it works great to give tours. The reason we have that is originally we didn't have a 6X aircraft, right? It was new and we're still designing it and making it. And so we use the 6X for our customers to come into, and that's been all over the world. It's been to the NBAA, it's been to Paris Air Show, and all different things. And actually, I have it set up where we can maybe use it to travel around the state a little bit, but I didn't realize at the time what it takes to move something that needs a wide load on it and how difficult and expensive that is to do that. So we have it in our facility, but it really helps our customers see it. And then 6X will probably at some point we'll take it out of that showroom area, and then we'll have the 10X. And once we get the 10X on board, we probably won't have that anymore either. But it does give a good showcase for us.
Hey, I'm in the market for a 10X. What's it going to cost me?
Awesome. Well, we can talk after here. No, but seriously, our aircraft go 2,000. You're in the 30 million mark. The 10X is going to be somewhere around the 80 million mark. So.
It's a good thing that past President Greg Hatcher's not here, because he'd have to have one, for sure. So probably saved him 20 million. So my question is, once the green aircraft arrives here, how long does the finish out process take on average? Like 2 weeks or a month or 2 months?
Okay, so it varies a little bit, but the process is about 2 years when you think about the full airplane, right? We're making parts today in France and to build aircraft to start the basic airplane. The basic airplane takes a certain amount of time. And all the different factories that come together. But once the aircraft arrives here, we've already started the design work. That happened 6-8 months prior to it arriving. We started purchasing leathers and veneers and that type of thing. And then once it hits the ground here, we're somewhere around an 8-month time frame. That 8-month. Yep. Anything?
Thank you, Mark. It's great to hear the economic and employment impact that Dassault Falcon Jet is having on Central Arkansas. And thanks to Art Squire for helping to produce this week's program. As a thank you to our presenters, we've commissioned local Arkansan Sage Holland, a master bead maker out of Mountain Home, Arkansas, to make a commemorative bead representing our Rotary Year theme of Global Hearts, Local Hands. We hope it is a good reminder of the time that you got to spend with our club here today. Next week, we are kicking off February with Arlo Washington, the barber of Little Rock and recent Academy Award nominee, to talk about his efforts to overcome the racial wealth gap in his community. With that, we are adjourned. We'll see you next week.